The moment you opened this message, something in heaven shifted for you. An emergency alert from Archangel Michael has just been released, and your name is at the top of it. Something is happening tonight in your house and your surroundings, and Michael is not whispering, he is urgently begging you to listen within the next 20 seconds. What's coming is not just random, it has been sent by someone who didn't expect you to see this message in time. But heaven has a different plan. A divine order is being issued now, and that order is for you to open your spiritual eyes before it's too late. Something invisible has been standing near your front door, and this time it's not just energy, it's an actual assignment targeting your peace. But Archangel Michael has intervened. He is standing right there, sword drawn and flaming with holy fire. He says, "Tell my beloved not to move, not to doubt." This is a divine military warning. Your name was just spoken in heaven's meeting. God has seen something coming that was not supposed to touch you, but there is a rule in the spirit world: what you ignore can take hold. So Michael is now shouting through this divine line, "Please, just 20 seconds. If you give me that, I will give you your life back. Tonight isn't normal, my child. This night has been chosen for spiritual confrontation because while you were sleeping, someone was setting a trap for you. But the angels of the Lord were watching, and a reversal has been planned, only if you respond. That's why this alert came so suddenly and was blocked 3 times in the spiritual realm before reaching you. Michael fought for this to reach your hands. He knows you're tired and that you have been through battle after battle. But now the battle has come to your home, and you must be spiritually present because the enemy wants to enter through a forgotten door, one that has been left unlocked in your spirit. By staying with this message and honoring it, that door will be sealed, and the danger will pass by, just as the angel of death passed over marked doors in Egypt. Your home can be marked tonight if you stay with this word. But if you scroll away, you may miss the divine code meant to shield your house. This is not a story or drama, this is spiritual intelligence from the throne of God, and Michael has only one order for you: open this now. Hear every word. Don't rush, because the attack is real, but so is the miracle. You are chosen for this warning because your destiny is too significant to be stolen. The moment you believe this, the angel of breakthrough will be released. But if you treat this as entertainment, the protection pauses, and heaven does not want you exposed tonight. Listen closely, my child. Someone with bad intentions has just spoken your name, but they didn't know heaven was listening. They didn't know your angels have been watching their movements. A plan was just uncovered in the realm of light, and you need to know it almost worked. That's why this message is urgent, and that's why Archangel Michael is not whispering, he is commanding you to arise now. This is your divine security code. You were never meant to hear this on your own. That's why the angels are with you now. As you read these lines, something is being undone in the spiritual realm. You can't see it, but heaven is watching your response. This isn't just a warning, it's an invitation to divine covering, supernatural reversal, and your next level. But first, you must obey this one order: don't stop reading. Don't doubt. Whatever you do, don't scroll past this, because a message like this comes once in a lifetime, and heaven will not repeat itself if the soul walks away. You are still here because your spirit knows this is not random. You were marked with divine protection at birth, but lately, your shield has been under attack. Tonight is the final attempt of the enemy to enter unseen, but he will not succeed if you activate this word. Michael said, "This is not just a message. This is a divine alarm. Ring it in your heart. Now, beloved, say this out loud if you feel it: I will not sleep on my miracle. I will not ignore my angels. I will stay with this word no matter what." The moment you say that, the chains begin to loosen, the fear begins to fade, and the power of God enters your home like a wave of fire and light. Now, before we go deeper, subscribe now so you never miss another angelic alert from heaven. If you're seeing this, it's not by chance, it's your divine rescue plan. Tap and subscribe. Your next message may save your future. Now breathe, my beloved, because the next part is deeper. Heaven is about to show you the face of the one who tried to block your joy, and the name will shock you. But the freedom that's coming will shake your entire household. My beloved, there is something heaven wants you to see with your spiritual eyes right now. Someone has been watching your home, not physically, but spiritually. They don't knock on your door, they knock on your weakness. They don't use weapons, they use whispers. They almost made it through, but your angel blocked it. Your angel stood at the edge of your house and declared, "Not this one. Not today. Not ever again." But now you must listen, because this moment is a spiritual intersection. What you do next decides what breaks or what enters. Michael says, "I order you to remain, because if you do, I will show you what was hidden in plain sight." Yes, someone you trusted allowed this attack to be planned, not directly, but through their jealousy, bitterness, and complaints about you when you weren't around. They became a doorway, a crack in your protection. But this is not to scare you, my beloved, it's to wake you up. Because while the attack was launched, heaven launched something greater, an angelic reversal, and your name is written on it. Tonight, Michael stands with an army right outside your house. They are guarding the roof, shielding the door, and covering your bed, windows, and walls. But there is one room they cannot enter without your permission, the room of your thoughts. That is where the enemy was planning to enter, not with a loud sound, but with a quiet suggestion: give up. Maybe you aren't protected after all. Maybe this spiritual stuff isn't real. Lies. Michael saw those whispers coming before they reached your mind, and this message is your divine firewall, your mental protection. When you hear a lie but don't recognize it, it enters. But when heaven speaks truth into you before the lie comes, you become unshakable. That's what this message is doing, it's preparing you, because within 8 hours of reading this, something will try to test your peace. Someone may say something that feels off, or someone may enter your house or text you. And you'll remember these words: this was not random. This was foreseen. God never allows a warning without a purpose. And the purpose now is simple: wake up the warrior in you. Michael is not just a comforter, he is a fighter. And tonight he is standing with his sword drawn, facing the very thing that tried to enter your life without permission. You, my beloved, are not alone. Now listen carefully. There is a knock coming, not a physical one, a spiritual one. It will come as a thought, a fear, a sense that something is about to shift, and the enemy will hope that you speak doubt in that moment. But instead, you will speak faith. Say it now with your own breath, no weapon formed against my house shall prosper. I am covered. My family is covered. Heaven is watching me tonight. Do you feel that? That pressure leaving your chest? That heaviness lifting off your back? That's not your imagination, it's the presence of your angel entering the room. He couldn't walk in until you agreed with the word, but now he is here, standing behind you, sword in hand. Michael says, this home will be a fortress. This child will not fall. This night will end in glory. Now something rare is happening, a divine scroll is being opened in heaven. Your name is on the next miracle to be released. But there's one condition, you must finish this message, because within the next lines, a spiritual transaction is hidden, and only those who complete the message will receive it. That's why so many scroll past. That's why some messages never finish loading. Because the enemy knows if you finish reading, you finish bleeding, and the wound will close. So now I ask you, will you trust heaven enough to stay? Will you believe that this message is not entertainment but deliverance? You know the answer in your heart already, because your spirit is awake, and the protection is growing. Tonight, my beloved, you are not just being warned, you are being marked for blessing, marked for favor, marked for a shift so divine that the next 48 hours won't look like your last 48 years. Stay with me, because in the next part, Archangel Michael is going to reveal the exact moment your name was placed into heaven's emergency scroll and what will happen in your home if you stay aligned. My child, my beloved, you are now entering the part of the message that few reach, and that's exactly why the blessing is hidden here. Because the enemy hoped you'd be too distracted, too tired, too overwhelmed to stay. But you remained, and that tells heaven one thing, you are ready. Now listen carefully. The scroll in heaven with your name was not opened by accident, it was sealed until this very night. Only one voice was allowed to break it open, Michael's. He stepped forward before the throne and said, this child has been tested. This child has remained. This child must now be protected fully. And the Lord gave his word, if they do not ignore this message, I will rewrite what was scheduled to happen in their house. Yes, something was scheduled, an event, an interruption, and a sudden shift meant to displace your peace. It was already written by the enemy. But heaven is now tearing that plan apart because you are in alignment, your heart is open, and your spirit said yes. There are nights when the war is quiet, but this night is not one of them. This is a loud night in the spirit. You may even feel it, like something is moving, like something invisible is walking across the edges of your room. Don't be afraid, because it's not what you think, it's heaven. The enemy hoped you'd be too distracted, too tired, too overwhelmed to stay, but you remained, and that tells heaven one thing, you are ready. Now listen carefully. The scroll in heaven with your name was not opened by accident. It was sealed until this very night. Only one voice was allowed to break it open, Michael's. He stepped forward before the throne and said, this child has been tested. This child has remained. This child must now be protected fully. And the Lord gave his word, if they do not ignore this message, I will rewrite what was scheduled to happen in their house. Yes, something was scheduled, an event, an interruption, and a sudden shift meant to displace your peace. It was already written by the enemy. But heaven is now tearing that plan apart because you are in alignment, your heart is open, and your spirit said yes. There are nights when the war is quiet, but this night is not one of them. This is a loud night in the spirit. You may even feel it, like something is moving, like something invisible is walking across the edges of your room. Don't be afraid, because it's not what you think, it's heaven positioning the blessing, releasing the reversal, marking your space. Archangel Michael is moving through your house now, from room to room. He is touching your bed and declaring rest. He is touching your walls and declaring protection. He is placing angels at every window, leaving no space uncovered, because you are not going to lose this time, not your peace, not your sleep, not your joy, and not your breakthrough. Heaven has declared this house a divine territory. But here's what you must do next, speak this out loud now with belief: my home belongs to God. My walls are surrounded. My windows are sealed with light. No darkness may pass this door. There, did you feel that? That shift? That strange peace that suddenly covered you like a blanket? That's confirmation. Michael heard it, and heaven recorded it. You've just activated an angelic lock. Nothing not sent by heaven can cross your threshold now. But that's not the end, because what happens next is going to shock you. Someone you least expect will reach out to you within 48 hours. They will either knock, call, message, or walk in. But what matters most is not what they do, it's what they carry. Because they are either a divine carrier or a disguised trap. And that's why this message matters, because it will sharpen your discernment. You will feel it instantly. The moment they speak, your spirit will know, this is either my confirmation or my distraction, and heaven will give you clarity, not confusion. You will no longer be pulled by feelings, you will be led by fire, because Michael is sending the fire of clarity into your space. No more fog. No more spiritual blindness. You will see through masks. You will know when the voice is lying. You will hear the truth even when it's wrapped in false light. This is what it means to be spiritually awake. You don't just see angels, you see assignments. You see what's behind the words. You hear what's behind the compliment. You feel what's behind the hug. And you will never walk into a trap again because you've been trained. Heaven trusts you now. But this came with a price. Your tears were not wasted. Your lonely nights went unnoticed. Michael has been standing there, recording every cry. Tonight heaven is cashing in those tears, turning pain into prophecy, turning silence into suddenness, and turning heartbreak into holy alignment. My beloved, you are about to enter a stretch of days where things happen so quickly you'll feel like you're dreaming. Doors will open before you ask, the answer will arrive before the question, and provision will come before the need. But all of this starts here, with this message, with this night, and with your decision to stay awake when others slept. Your house has been chosen. You have been sealed, and the enemy is furious but powerless, because your angels are not sleeping tonight. Now breathe, my beloved, the battle is already being won. My child, my beloved, you're still here, and that means everything in the spiritual realm. The longer you stay, the stronger your covering becomes. Every second you read this, your house is shifting, not physically, but spiritually. The air feels different now, doesn't it? Lighter, almost as if the weight you didn't know you were carrying is starting to melt away. That's no accident, that's confirmation. You've just entered the part of the message where the chains start breaking. Michael just whispered, they stayed. Now I can show them what was hidden. So I must reveal something. There was someone who spoke against you 3 nights ago. They didn't say your name directly, but their heart sent energy to you. Their jealousy reached your field and tried to block your next miracle. But that's when Michael drew his sword and declared, no more. Heaven does not allow darkness to touch a chosen one without permission. In your case, no permission was granted. But you needed to be warned because, although it didn't hit you, it came close. If this message hadn't reached you in time, if you had skipped it like the others, that darkness might have found a crack. But now it's sealed. You are surrounded, and your house is being marked from the sky. There are angels flying over your roof right now, invisible to the eye yet undeniable to the spirit. They are singing songs of deliverance. You may not hear it with your ears, but your soul does. That's why your breathing has shifted and your heart is no longer racing. The warfare that was spinning around you has just been silenced. And the reason is simple, you didn't ignore heaven. You honored the message. You stayed present, and now the presence of God is with you, my beloved. There's still more to show you. They didn't say your name directly, but their heart sent energy to you. Their jealousy reached your field and tried to block your next miracle. But that's when Michael drew his sword and declared, no more. Heaven does not allow darkness to touch a chosen one without permission. In your case, no permission was granted. But you needed to be warned, because although it didn't hit you, it came close. If this message hadn't reached you in time, if you had skipped it like the others, that darkness might have found a crack. But now it's sealed. You are surrounded, and your house is being marked from the sky. There are angels flying over your roof right now, invisible to the eye yet undeniable to the spirit. They are singing songs of deliverance. You may not hear it with your ears, but your soul does. That's why your breathing has shifted, and your heart is no longer racing, because the warfare that was spinning around you has just been silenced. And the reason is simple, you didn't ignore heaven. You honored the message. You stayed present, and now the presence of God is with you, my beloved. Because while Michael was guarding you from the front, there was something following you behind, a shadow of your past. A memory that refuses to let go. A voice that still tells you that maybe you deserve the pain. But heaven rejects that lie. Michael saw that shadow and chased it down, and right now, as you breathe, that shadow is being severed from your path. You don't owe your past anything, you don't have to carry guilt for surviving. You don't have to apologize for healing. You don't have to explain why God chose you, because He did. And tonight is the proof. You were chosen for preservation, chosen for protection, chosen for peace. But now you are also being chosen for something greater, something almost terrifying in how big it is. You are being chosen to carry something sacred, favor. And not just any favor, unusual favor. Favor that makes no sense to those around you. Favor that moves so quickly that others will question if you cheated to receive it. But you won't need to explain, because when God moves, He doesn't need permission. And when Michael guards, no hand can interfere. Your favor is unlocking now, piece by piece. Your next financial breakthrough is already in motion, your next spiritual elevation is already unfolding. The person who will support your soul is already being shown your name in dreams. But you must continue walking in awareness, because the enemy is not happy. He is restless. He thought you'd never reach this part of the message. He thought you'd scroll, laugh, and leave, but you stayed. And now heaven is laughing instead, because the trap he laid for you tonight has been flipped. Now the enemy is falling into the very net he created. Now the curse is being reversed. Now the energy that was sent against you is returning 7 times stronger to where it came from, and your home remains covered, protected, and sealed by angelic command. You may soon begin to feel warmth in your chest. That's not random, that's Michael confirming this word. He is touching your heart so that you'll know this is real, and you are not alone, not in this room, not in this hour, not in this war. You've been assigned to win. Absolutely nothing can stop what is being released over your house in the next 24 hours. Stay grounded, stay grateful, and most of all, stay open, because the moment you finish this message, you will feel a release so profound that you'll know the night is no longer dark. You'll feel the shift in your room, you'll recognize that the angels are still standing guard, and you'll know the house you're living in has just become a holy place. My child, my beloved, you've reached the part that few ever touch. This is where the scroll becomes personal. This is where Archangel Michael speaks directly to you, not just as a messenger, but as a guardian. So now, quiet your thoughts and listen with your spirit, because what's about to be shared will shift something deep inside you. Michael says, "My beloved, I have walked with you since birth. You may not have seen me, but I have stood in the shadows behind every danger. I was there when you almost gave up and no one knew. I stood between you and every accident that tried to end your life prematurely. I've whispered when you were sleeping, and I've fought demons you never even knew were assigned to your bloodline. But tonight, I speak out loud, this is your final warning before a new beginning. There is something hiding in your house, not under your bed or behind the curtains, but in the air, in the energy. It is a lingering fear, a spiritual dust that has followed you from place to place. It stems from grief, betrayal, and old words spoken over you by those who didn't know your destiny. And now it must be removed. There is no more time. Heaven is ready to cleanse your space. But there's a secret instruction, one so simple that most ignore it. But if you follow it tonight, your entire spiritual atmosphere will reset. Michael says, light no candle, burn no incense, just speak. Yes, that's all, just speak. Stand in the center of your room or wherever you are right now. Look toward the sky and say these exact words, I declare this house is holy ground. All darkness must leave. I welcome only light, only love, only heaven. Archangel Michael, stand at my door. God, fill every room with your breath. This home is sealed by divine fire. So be it. That's it. But that moment of obedience unlocks something massive, because this is not about a ritual, it's about agreement. When your voice agrees with heaven, earth must obey. Your environment will shift, even your sleep will change tonight. You won't toss and turn like before. You won't feel watched in your own home. You won't hear strange noises and assume it's the wind. God is sending peace, real peace. Peace that doesn't come from money. Peace that doesn't depend on people. Peace that silences the room and makes your heart feel safe again. Yes, safe. You haven't felt truly safe in years, but it returns now, because Michael has heard your silence. Heaven is responding with presence. But here's what may surprise you. Once you speak those words, within the next 24 hours, you will notice something strange. Someone in your life may suddenly act distant. They may withdraw, ghost you, or even argue for no reason. But don't chase them, don't ask why. Because this cleansing is not just of your home, it's of your circle. Spiritual cleaning means spiritual pruning. Some people cannot survive in the purified atmosphere heaven is creating around you. Let them go. Don't be afraid, because what leaves after this prayer was never meant to stay, and what enters after this moment was always part of your divine promise. Now breathe, my child. Let this next part settle into your bones. You are finally safe. You are finally seen, and heaven is finally loud about your miracle.